Good morning, African Confessions. Good morning. I am back with another episode. There is a message that I want to share with you guys, and the message reads like this. Hello, brother. How are you? Can you please post my story? I have worms that are crawling all over my body. I am a 37-year-old. I had 3 children, but all of them are dead now. My husband is also dead. All of this was a result of the things that I did because of the money ritual that I did. I was given 6 eggs. These eggs were placed in a clay pot with milk inside that clay pot. But I was told that when the milk ran out in the clay pot, that means that I have to break 1 egg. So when I broke it, it means that 1 person dies. My children died and my husband died too. And now I am only left with 2 eggs. Out of the 2 eggs that I am left with, I asked, who does these eggs represent? And I was told that the eggs that were left were for my mother and for my father. 1 egg for my mother and 1 egg for my father. Can you believe it, my brother? I then refused to kill my own parents. Then that witch doctor said that I should decide whether to kill my parents or swallow the worms. I didn't know what I was doing at that time. I only wanted to save my own parents. So I chose to eat up the worms that were given to me by that witch doctor. I chose to swallow those worms. I was then given a jar of worms to swallow, and I was told to swallow them one by one. When I swallowed the first one, I could see it moving inside me. I finished swallowing them, and it took me 10 hours to do that. They had a very bad smell and they were burning my throat. The death of my children hurt me so much that even today, if I say to myself that even if I die, it doesn't matter, because what am I living for? I have destroyed everything that God had given unto me. I destroyed my husband. I destroyed the children that I loved the most. So even if I die today, it doesn't matter. There are many days that I have gone on my knees and I have begged the devil to take me. Can you believe it, my brother, that on so many occasions, especially in the evening, I have tried to scream to the devil. I have tried to cry out unto the devil. I have tried to weep and begged the devil to appear before me so that he can just take my soul. I know that the devil purchased my soul at a higher price. Yes, he didn't purchase my soul by sacrificing himself like the Lord Jesus did. No, he purchased my soul at a price. He gave me money and I gave him my soul. So there are many nights that I have screamed at him like, yes, you have given me the money, but don't you think that it is high time that you harvest my soul, because I am tired of living. Brother Nashi, I am tired of living. Right now, like at the place where I am staying, I have this beautiful balcony. There was this other night when I thought of jumping out of that balcony, but I don't know what happened to me, because I tried to open that door, but I don't know what was wrong with that sliding door on that night. It refused to open. I tried breaking the glass on that sliding door, but it refused. I even took a hammer to smash the glass on that sliding door, but no matter how hard I try to hit that glass on that sliding door with a hammer, it refused to be broken. I tried all the keys that I knew that can open that sliding door, the spare keys and the original keys, but all of them, it was like I was using a different key. When I saw that the door was not opening, I gave up. But what surprised me was that in the morning, when I woke up, that door was open. My brother, there are many times that I have tried to end my own life, but I have failed, because there was this other time, like I was traveling on the highway, I was going somewhere. As I was traveling on the highway, that is when I thought of ending my own life. As I was thinking about ending my own life, I saw that there was a big truck that was approaching me. Brother Nashi, I don't know what happened on that day. because I tried to switch the lanes so that I can have a head-on collision with that oncoming truck. But I don't know what happened, because I just heard a sound on the steering wheel. It just locked itself. You know, like when you lock your steering wheel, that is what happened on that day when I was traveling on the highway. I just heard a sound like something had locked the steering wheel. I tried so hard to turn the steering wheel so that I can switch the lane in which I was traveling in, and I can have a head-on collision with that oncoming truck, but I failed to do that. When that truck had passed me, that is when I looked at the steering wheel and I saw that there was movement on the steering wheel. It was like there was now someone who was with me in that car, and that person was now controlling the car. There was someone who was turning the steering wheel, and the car was drifting out of the highway. I tried stepping on the braking pedal, but nothing happened. The next thing that happened was that my car then hit a tree. My car was damaged because, like, the insurance company that I am insured with, they just wrote off that car. But on my body, there was no scratch, there was nothing. Even when the ambulance came, I was actually sitting right next to my car. The paramedics that had came to the place where the accident had happened, they were actually surprised because I was just sitting right there to my car. And people who were taking pictures, they were amazed because, like, my car was smashed against the tree, but on my body there was no scratch, there was nothing. There was this other pastor who was in a taxi. He actually got out of the taxi, then he started praying, and he was like praising God, and people were singing. But I actually felt sorry for them because it was not God who had saved me out of this accident. It was the devil himself. He didn't want to harvest my soul. He wanted me to suffer even more. So, my brother, when you hear me say that even if I die today, it doesn't matter, I have suffered so much. It's like each and every day of my life, it is a living hell. The money that I have is already being spent by my other relatives because I don't care about that money anymore. My relatives, they think that I love them so much. That is why if anyone in my family, if they say that they want to invest in such and such a business, I would just ask them, how much is that business going to cost you? Because, like, there was this other time when my cousin sister told me that she wanted to do a franchise, you know, a King Pie franchise. I just asked her, how much is it going to cost you? She told me that it is going to cost her somewhere around 2 million or 2.5 million rands. I didn't even ask her when was she going to repay me back that money. I just transferred that money straight from my bank account straight to her bank account, and she was surprised. She praised me a lot because she thought that I am someone who wants to pull each and every family member out of poverty, but she doesn't know that I don't care about this money anymore. No one knows that this is just ritual money. Yes, I gave her the money, but as soon as I die, believe you me, all of their businesses are going to fail, because the moment that I die, when the devil has finally harvested my soul, he is going to take all of his money so that he can give that money to someone else whom he would have a new deal with. So all of my relatives whom I have helped, all of them, if I die, they are going to return back to poverty, unless maybe if they pray, God is going to have mercy upon their souls. But I know that as for the money, that money belongs to the devil. I don't know if God can claim something that doesn't belong to him. Everyone thinks that it is money that I have worked so hard for. And since I ate those worms, I was told not to give my parents anything with that money or anything from the money. I am hurt now because they think that I have abandoned them. And the person who used to take care of them was my brother, whom I had to sacrifice. Now they are suffering, yet I can't give them this money. This hurts me a lot. If I spend the money on them, they might die as well, because if I give them money straight from my hands, then there is going to be a spiritual connection between them and the sacrifice that I am supposed to do. Now what I do is that when I hear that my parents are suffering a lot, like back in the village, I can just find anyone, then I'll give that person money so that they can go and buy something for my parents. I am not allowed to directly assist my own parents. Can you believe it, my brother? My brother, this hurts me the most whenever I think about my own parents, the way that they are suffering, like back in the village. They are suffering like no man's business, but their daughter, their only surviving daughter, is living the good life, because now I am actually staying in a 14-bedroomed mansion. I am staying alone. I don't know, my brother, if you want any of this, you can have it. I have traveled around the world and I have lived the good life, and I am tired. I just want to die. It has been more than 7 years since I did this ritual. We did this ritual as a group. We were influenced by wanting high positions, like in church. We used to give high amounts of offerings and driving expensive cars. Can you believe this, that even at church, I have a higher position in church simply because, like my pastor, my bishops and stuff, I give them expensive gifts. Like recently, there is this other guy, I don't want to mention like his name or his position in church. I recently gifted him with a brand new Toyota Land Cruiser, like the ZX that are currently on the market. And they thanked me a lot, but they don't know that I am using this ritual money. In the church that I attend, I am so popular. It's like some of the people, they actually worship me. If a church wants to take a decision, they actually visit me at my house so that they can ask me if the decision that they want to take is going to suit me. Sometimes I tell them that they can go ahead. Sometimes I can actually tell them that they have to stop whatever decision that they want to take. There was this other time I was surprised because there were certain pastors that came to my house. After giving them a lot of gifts and money, that is when they started having this discussion with me, telling me that they wanted to ask me if it is okay if we can change the doctrine. What happened was that after having some discussions with those pastors, they later came back after I had given them more gifts. They came back to my house, then they gave me the doctrine of the church. What I did is that I went to my personal lawyer with the doctrine of the church. You won't believe it, Brother Nashi, that my own lawyer is the one who changed the whole doctrine of the church so that the doctrine of the church can suit my own needs. Like we had to change a lot of stuff, the way that we dress, the way that we address each other, the way that we preach the gospel, and the way that we even play music in church. But now it is not like I go to church each and every Sunday. What happens is that most of the times we can just do an online church. I can just go on the camera, then I'll greet the church members, then I'll switch off the camera. Sometimes I can just live stream the church service. It's like I am actually the owner of the church. The reason why I stopped going to church, it was because people were like worshiping me and I didn't want all of that attention. I just wanted to be the face behind the curtains. Now I no longer go to church because ever since that I swallowed those worms, there are some times whereby I can just feel like vomiting, and when I vomit, these worms comes out, and these worms are so painful. Whenever I vomit these worms, it's like they will be feasting on my body. When I saw that these worms are now feasting on my body, I returned back to that witch doctor. The witch doctor who made me to do all of these rituals, he gave me a solution to my problem. He told me that it is so easy. All that I have to do is that I have to buy fresh meat. In my house, I make sure that each and every day I have fresh meat. Like I have to go either to Checkers or to any butchery so that I can just buy fresh meat, especially the liver of a cow. So whenever I feel pain, I'll just place that fresh meat on my body so that the worms can feed on that fresh meat. But that witch doctor who assisted me told me that this is not a sustainable solution. I have to sacrifice my own parents. So I approached some of my group members, like the people that I went with to that witch doctor. They also gave me the same advice. They told me that I just have to kill my parents. I have to sacrifice my parents and go back to the life that I used to live. They say that I am already a sinner. God is not going to forgive me, especially the time that I changed the doctrine of the church. They told me that God will never forgive me for what I did, because there are things that I told my lawyer to place in that doctrine. Like in church, people are not supposed to mention the name of the Holy Spirit. So my group members, my fellow ritualists, they told me that even if I try to save my own parents, it is not going to matter, because the moment that I told my lawyer to delete the part where people are supposed to mention the name of the Holy Spirit in church, it was a great sin that I performed. I am already a sinner. That is the difference now. And now I think that it is the reason why the devil doesn't want to take my soul. Maybe that is why he wants me to suffer, because I am worth nothing. Even Jesus will never save me. How can he save someone who has changed the doctrine of a church? This is not a small church that I am talking about, Brother Nashi. I don't want to mention the name of the church in fear of people knowing that it is me. But it is a big church. The church is not here in South Africa alone. It is across Africa and the world. And I am afraid of what I have done. And I don't know if I have to go ahead and sacrifice my own parents. I feel like I have abandoned them. I am helpless. I need advice. All that I know is that I am tired of living. Before I sent you this confession, I actually did a prayer. I didn't pray to Jesus. I didn't pray to God or anyone. I only prayed. I prayed to Satan himself directly. I asked him for a favor. I told him, if he loves me like the way that he claimed that he loved me when I was doing this ritual, the only thing that I desire of him right now is if he can end my life, because I am tired. Brother, please share my own story.